They definitely have their Roche lineup is super good.
Here we go, though. Smoke coming in from LGD. See if they can find anything. DC in a pretty good position. Lee gets the ion shell, charges the front line, and it looks like they'll just back out. No first blood drawn quite yet. All right, easy disengage.
Soxa pretty much played these first 30 seconds perfectly. So he broke the smoke on Rubik, which messed this play up entirely for LFY. They didn't get the opening they want. And he placed more or less the perfect sentry that covered all of the spots he would expect them to have placed their ward in, and he found the sentry in the tree line and got rid of that. So DC basically just secured their safe lane with this play from Soxa. So very, very good stuff from him.
All right. Any trickery here in this laning phase? Looks like Soxa will be bottom lane, supporting up Resolution's Juggernaut. In the mid, it'll be the Weeha Phantom Assassin, and it is indeed Misery on the Magnus. He goes for the level 1 in power just to make EA's opening laning stage a little easier here. And then, of course, off lane, it is that Dark Seer by Moon Meander. It looks like a dual lane mid from LGDFY. God, that's a lot of characters. Super here on the Sniper and Zhao 8. On the Ogre Magi, Yao takes the off lane Slardar, and that leaves us with a dual lane here in the safe, and one of the stand-ins on Ursa, and the other stand-in DDC playing on the Rubik.
And what we saw here in the start and mid is the reason I did not pick PA to be the richest hero at minute 10. Because the structure of DC's lineup is inherently pretty greedy in the start, right? Like, you have a jungling Magnus with Iron Talon. Either he would jungle or he would dual lane off lane with the Darkseer. And that means this Ogre can put a lot of pressure. So ideally for LFY, this PA does not have the greatest time in mid. And because of that, I think Ursa top will be favored in that sense. But it could also end up just being the Juggernaut, actually, from Resolution then. We'll see. Currently, Sniper's leading. Woo!
Yeah.
So, yay.
I feel like a lot can happen,
I picked Ursa. Not good.
In that first 10 minutes in terms of these supports. You know, like Ogre, Rubik, a lot of options to rotate around and maybe find kills. And seeing some pressure on the jungle here. Misery spending some time by himself. Just trying to deal with this hard camp. Zhao 8 coming in for the snipe.
Oh, if he gets that creep, that's actually pretty big. Very nice play from Zhao 8 here. Of course, they will be splitting the experience, but this greedy choice from Misery is not paying off right now. I'm sure you're keeping Ogre busy, but it's an Ogre from Magnus trade-off. Who's going to be more powerful minute 6 without farm is most definitely going to be the Ogre.
Right.
So he is very happy with that trade-off for now.
Yeah,
I already regret picking Ursa over Jugger. I actually have no idea why I did that. Ursa has the way more contested lane. I think Resolution will be the richest hero minute 10.
You even said it yourself. You know, Ursa does not want to play against the Darkseer. It's a pretty tough matchup, and you see it in the Raw last hits. I mean, Moomiander's already putting a lot of pressure on. He just now hits level 3. This is where it gets harder.
I was like looking at the course, and I was like, Ursa, PA, Sniper, who's going to have the best game? And then I just didn't look at Jug, who is like the obvious beneficiary of this laning stage. So, all right, that's 1 point gone. I'm going to accept that already. We'll go for 3.
Yeah, the PA definitely.
Who knows what's going to happen? If Ursa gets the Roche kill and gets a kill in lane or something, he can still overtake the Jugger. But realistically, this is definitely Jugger's early game for the taking.
It's kind of interesting how things have shifted, though, just generally speaking, from pressuring safe lanes a little bit more to it's all about the mid lane. We're seeing these kind of dual lanes mid so much more common now. These key heroes that, you know, you need to shut them down. You got to put the pressure on.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's not because PA by nature is a hero that you have to really shut down in lane. It's just that Sniper needs the help, actually. And it's kind of a blessing for LFY in this game that the Ogre, in addition to winning this lane, can also contest the mag. If this Magnus was another hero and he was dual laning top with the Darkseer, I still think Ogre would have done the same thing. He would be playing this lane and the Ursa would fight for himself top with Rubik. They would do whatever they could, but this lane definitely needs the assistance here. And Zhao 8 is, you know, Weeha isn't having the worst time. He's 13-2 against 16-2 for Sniper, but if this is a flat-out one-on-one lane, PA will start dominating Sniper right now. So, this is not too bad for Super. Nice to see him on Sniper, by the way. That's an old classic.
Is it?
Something we haven't talked so much about, the hero-player combinations, but Super, one of the really excellent Sniper mid players from back when it was way more popular than it is now. Very, very comfortable on that hero.
Ogre
we haven't
still
talked so much about Yao, actually.
No, we haven't. It's been a pretty quiet early game here. Slardar, let's see, 4 last hits. Picks up that Hellbear there. Not too bad. He's at least almost level 4. He's getting good experience in this lane.
Yeah. That is the weakness of DC's lane, is that it has sustain, and it can like pressure over time, but it doesn't have the kill potential. There's no slow set up for the Juggernaut, so Slaughter will feel fairly safe just going in for experience, and he will trade basically experience for health. And now that he's out of region, we'll see if he buys like a Salve or a Tango pack here to bring to lane, or if he's going to try to greed for the Tranquils. But the moment he gets Tranquils, he will actually have a very good time in this lane, I think. He will get a Tango pack and the ring, so nice choice, I think, here, as that build up.
Okay.
And of course, his presence in lane will slow down Soxa a bit. Soxa's still doing a good job here at getting levels, but I don't think he's 100% just free pulling. He's still being contested a little bit.
So, Send, I feel like we need to talk about this Magnus, though. Right now, we're seeing a legit jungling Magnus, Windlace, Iron Talon, and it seems to be working pretty well. Level 2 in power here as he's dinged 3, and he's killing golems with really no trouble. I mean, this is I've never seen anyone do this before that I can recall.
Yeah, I think this is working because they have Darkseer top. You need an offlaner that puts a lot of pressure, and let's imagine for a moment that this top lane with the Ursa, I actually think LFY should probably do this, maybe, is that they should just leave the Ursa one-on-one. I don't think Rubik is contributing that much to Ursa's success in the lane anymore. Ursa's doing a good job, actually. He's up to 29 CS, he has his Morbid Mask. He's good to go. Like, he can play the lane alone now. So I would like DDC to start moving away from here. Oh, yep.
We may be in trouble. Able to Phantom Strike away, but Yao on his way in. Misery on the run. Already used the Skewer to make it to the high ground. The Crush actually does connect on the PA. Phantom Strike not going to be off cooldown, and the first blood does come out in favor of Super on the Sniper. Very nice as they dive deep into the Radiant jungle.
And this is what I think they can also do with Rubik. So what they need to decide now for LFY is how do you want to play the Rubik in this game? Do you think it's best that he's top and just pulling and getting levels? Because Ursa doesn't need him, right? So he has two choices. Either he pulls and maximizes top and gets a fast level 6, or he plays like Ogre has, and he either pressures mid or he pressures the Magnus in the Dire or in the Radiant jungle, sorry. Or third option is he starts laning with Slaughter bottom and puts pressure on the Warlock. I think the latter option is the worst. So either he greeds, which is what's happening right now, or he contests. And right now, well, we might see a kill on Moonmeander. Actually, a lot of damage being dealt. He will be okay, though.
Surge away, and he'll be just fine. Still no Soul Ring, but he makes it back to the well.
Yeah, so far so good for LFY, I think. The big CS leader is still, of course, the Juggernaut from that bottom lane. But this early game being fairly even, I think LFY should be okay with, as long as they can transition into a timing where they get the Roshan before DC are ready. DC's team fight is non-existent right now.
Yeah.
Magnus is level 4, Warlock is level 4, Darkseer is level 5. Like, the big teamfight spells start coming up minute 9 or 10, so I actually wouldn't be surprised if we just see End going for the Rosh now. I feel like it's actually an existing play because of how greedy DC's lineup is. How are they going to contest this Rosh with a Rubik and Ogre just standing outside the pit?
Yeah. Oh, I think you're absolutely right. It's a pretty short window. Both those supports the Magnus as well as the Warlock close to level 5, so it's a closing window here. Warlock actually already 5, and he's gone for that third point in Fatal Bonds. Yes, perhaps ready to team fight if need be.
Yeah, this is something we often see. Most Warlocks like to have the level 4 Fatal Bonds as fast as possible, and then you just decide in the game, do we need Shadow Word level 3 or not for our lane? And in this game they have Healing Ward, and Resolution's fine anyway, so I like this choice a lot of going Fatal Bonds higher.
Well, this is a key tower in terms of contesting Roche. This will help open up this area for DC. Very smart idea to push here, and they might be able to take a team fight. We'll see. Initiation comes out onto the Juggernaut. Resolution with the Iron Shell on will Blade Fury away, and he'll be fine for now. He gets the Surge. Healing Ward gets killed, but they will make it back. Soxa.
I think Soxa's could be no?
Caught by the Ignite, but he makes it back.
He's out of shrapnels, actually. That got dangerously close, though, for Resolution there. He was the Ogre was mid-animation on the stun under the tower when he got the Blade Fury off, and if that Blade Fury doesn't come off, I actually think that's a dead Juggernaut, and that's huge, because that would be Roche. Speaking of that, it's probably Roche anyway, but a Juggernaut to boot wouldn't have been bad here for End.
Yeah. Now they do still have an Omni Slash available. He's got a Mango, light on mana right now. Still no big ultimates. This is that perfect timing window we were talking about for LFY. Roche below half HP. DC starting to rotate in, but it's only 3. They're not going to get there in time. All right.
Come on, Ursa. Closing in on top net worth. He has a minute and a half. He needs to get a kill on Jugger. Then I'm right.
You're actually...
Come on.
You're getting close to calling this, man. My PA prediction is going by the wayside.
I'm still pretty sure Jugger's got this.
Yeah.
But if Moon starts stealing his CS here with Ion Chill, then We might be closing in. Nah. So DC are not letting go of the pressure here on bottom, though. They're going to keep going for this tower even against a team with Aegis. I like it because they are taking advantage of the power spike of Juggernaut right now and the Darkseer's presence in the lane, and will secure them this tier 1. So pretty good stuff here from DC, reading the situation very well and getting what they can.
Quite nice for Resolution. Finishing off that last hit on the tower gives them about a 1k net worth lead. A little bump as some more core items starting to come about. Iron Talon up on the Jug. He's going to move into his Yasha for that Manta style, and Mask of Madness now up on En's Ursa alongside that Aegis. So we'll see. Maybe LGD will try and get aggressive here, use this Aegis, or if it'll just be a farming Aegis, only time will tell.
They do not want to use this for farming. I'll guarantee that. They definitely want to try to fight with it. But the difficult thing here is finding the right fight. Since DC's team fight ultimates are starting to come online, Warlock's almost 6 now. Magnus is, as a matter of fact, 6. So you need to be a little careful. A very nice smoke wrap around here from DC will get them the kill on Super Sniper.
Yep. Ursa not going to be able to get there in time, but they might be able to go in onto Wee. The Warlock Golem comes down. It kind of breaks this up a little bit, but Weeha's still in some trouble. He's on the run. Yao will connect with the crush. No, it's off the mark. The stolen golem from the Rubik, though. This should secure some kind of a kill here. Telekinesis will lock down the PA. It's an RP on 3 plus the golem, but there's no follow-up, and of course it won't be enough to keep his good friend Weeha alive.
This is a really
very well
big moment of opportunity for LFY. So they lost the sniper for PA, so this smoke wraparound for DC looked really good. They got the key kill and it gave Warlock level 6. But now that both Golem and RP are on cooldown and LFY have a Golem to boot for another 30 seconds, this tower is just flat out gone for DC. There's no way they're going to be able to hold this. They will try to trade for top the best they can. They might actually be successful here with Resolution.
They're going to catch Magnus. They just dive past the tower and catch him off guard. They knew he didn't have RP, so limited ways to get away there. Pretty easy kills. They go back in onto the tower. This is
now
also,
the wall is down again.
This is also great for the Rubik. Oh no, he already dumped the golem. I thought he might save it and try to use it on the next cooldown. You have like a 15-second window before it expires, but he dumps it. Golem gets killed mid. Meanwhile, up top, Resolution and End going at it. One more from the Ursa will find the kill.
That's now he's ahead, but it's minute 11. Come on.
Oh,
he was
my.
1 minute late.
He lost.
Oh, damn it. Well, actually, DC did end up defending the middle tier 1. Very surprising for me. I think the reason they hold it is that LFY dove for that Magnus kill. If they don't do that, they probably just get the tower safely. But an extra kill to boot, and this tower will probably still fall very soon. And the rotation from Ursa, of course, also prevents them from getting the tower. But the kill on Juggernaut is very, very big here, shifting the lead toward End and almost giving him his Blink Dagger. This is a very good Ursa game, by the way. We haven't talked about it so much. The PA I mentioned a little bit, but all the other matchups are actually... Ursa likes playing against Juggernaut in mid-late game. He's very good at killing the Golem, and he has the Enrage in the RP when he gets Aghanims. There's no silence on the Radiant side, so that will be a very powerful item this game.
Yeah. Things settling down a little bit here. Level 7 Magnus goes into Arcane Boots first. And the Yasha on the way for Jug. Let's take a look at the overall graph, and still a lead for DC. Experience is zeroed out, but still a very even game. As we talked about, even though it's possible for Sniper and Ursa to thrive here, DC still have a lot of options. And as long as they can manage these cooldowns, RP, Golem, Vac Wall, always a threat here for LFY. Dragonlance on the way for Sniper, just about 250 gold off, so super. Getting one step closer to that range, sitting in the far back as we see a smoke rotation headed up top from LGD.
And that item has actually been a big reason of why we've seen Sniper come back. It's maybe not that intuitive, because you think, why would you need the extra range when you have a hero that already has 1,000,000 range? In theory, he maybe should be one of the heroes benefiting less, but it allows you to max headshot early, and it gives you a big damage spike because you can compensate for your lack of skill points and take aim, and then use the Dragonlance to tank yourself up a bit. And this headshot deals a lot of damage early with the high level. So we might see him go 4-4-1 build. So we also see players sometimes go 4-2-4. You just get the second point headshot. It's really valuable because you go from 15 to 40 damage.
Ursa does have Blink now, by the way, as we just saw. He blinks back defensively as we see a smoke rotation from DC. LFY just back up. They get the tower down to about half HP and choose not to take the fight there. I guess aware that all of these cooldowns are available. And Aegis ran out, that too, yeah.
primary reason I think here is that they acknowledge DC's strength here. They know DC's type of game right now is just, if we get a flat-out 5-on-5 engage under a tower, LFY are in trouble. But if they can enforce like a split push skirmish type kind of game, that's where Ursa can shine. Sniper's actually not too bad at it either, and Slardar, especially when he gets the blink, will want to play like that. So they are just avoiding the worst case scenario for themselves and just being content with probably knowing that this game is fairly even right now and just looking for the right moment of opportunity later.
Yeah, Yao is about halfway towards that blink dagger on the Slardar. Mech on the way for Moon Meander, and it looks like Weehaw maybe going for the straight-up Desolator. He's got the Blightstone, first Mithril Hammer. That'll be a huge spike in their damage output when he picks that up.
Yeah, it's. I also think it's necessary, actually, for DC. The item has a couple of purposes in this game. The one is how much damage he does himself, but it also enables Juggernaut. It makes the Golem stronger, which is maybe like a secondary concern. But it also makes him farm faster. It's just a good all-round item on PA, as long as you don't get caught. Because he doesn't have much in the way of defense, right? He has Blur level 4, sure, but he will die to a spell combo, and especially as we talked about, Ursa with amplified damage and the overpower will get to him if he gets the chance. But if you play around the periphery of the fight very well, Deso is the choice.
Yeah, certainly the glass cannon choice. All about the positioning, no doubt there. LFY starting to group up about the bottom lane. All 5 congregating here, maybe thinking about a tower push of sorts. Any smokes? They do not have any smokes, so it's just going to be a lane siege.
Moon is in pretty good position here, but he's only level 8 minute 15. This is actually a fairly low level Darkseer. He's out leveled by the Slardar. Not very common. And the reason this happens for Moon is DC's decision to rotate a lot as a team, to enforce. First of all, he came down to bottom to get that tier 1. Now they tried for that tier 1 defense top where they were all 5 smoke, didn't bring anything with it. And Darkseer, a hero who benefits a lot from split pushing, just hasn't been able to play that way. You want level 11 on this hero. The vacuum level 1 sucks. It's one of the worst spells in Dota. And level 4 is one of the best spells in Dota. So what do you know? He needs to get there.
Slow and steady. Looks like they won't siege too much. This has still been a pretty quiet game. 5 kills in about 16 minutes. Both sides farming, playing very safe, and again, relatively even here as we get into this mid-game. 1,500 net worth lead, 1,000 experience lead for DC. Everybody just working on that round of core items. We do have the Desolator now up on Wii.
Super. I can't believe I saw that. I'm sorry, that just reminded me of a pub game, you know. Slardar is farming the dragon camp. He needs the 1 small dragon to have his blink, and Super just comes over and auto-attacks the dragon and steals the last 2. Oh, Yao got another creep, so he's fine. The blink is flying out now. He's gonna get a TP scroll as well, probably.
Super actually making a liar out of you here, Sind. As soon as he picked up the dragon lance, he went back to max out take aim.
Yeah, I was saying you go one of 2 ways, right? Either you go 4-4-1 or you go mid. You know, you can also go like 4-3-2. It's not like you have to do it, but most commonly is 4-2-4. And that the dragon lance does play a big role in this being as good as it is.
Yeah.
Or if you're feeling that kind of game, you can max the headshot. All right, smoke broken.
Nice spin from Resolution. Yeah, no way to initiate there on the jug. Breaks the smoke, and they'll stay safe. Maybe looking for a counterplay of their own up top. They might find the Slardar. We throws some daggers, uses the Phantom Strike, but now RP from Misery.
Airball.
And blinks away. Oh,
they even stole RP.
That is pretty close to worst case scenario. Now they jump back in. Soxa getting low. He drops the rock, but it's not on point. Oh no, they're just going to get a free golem here. That's a little bit of money going the way of the Dire. And they get the kill. And they still have RP.
Yeah, Slardar blink crushing, miss. This should probably be the bottom tier 1 here for LFY, I think. Or the top one. Actually, they haven't done that much damage to either tower. Top is half health, but the bottom one is almost untouched. So they might not be able to enforce this enough. We'll see. End is moving in toward Rezo here. They have Assassination, but, well, doesn't do damage there.
Blade Fury. Well, does still have Omni Slash, hits level 11, and we'll just TP home as the siege commences for LFY. You know, it's one of those things, though, even though they found a kill there, these little fights aren't really that big of a deal for DC. They're still farming through it pretty effectively with the Empower buff.
Yeah, the more important thing is, like, protecting their towers. I think if you start losing map control against this dire lineup, it gets very scary to move out on the map. Just because Slardar plus Ursa can kill anyone, Slardar plus Sniper probably can kill anyone apart from PA. So you need to be very cautious with your movements, but these towers are protecting their side a lot right now. So as long as they don't lose them, they're in pretty good shape. The problem is, inevitably, the secondary Roche will also go to LFY, the way the game's looking right now. It's spawning soon, there's still a minute and a half on Golem. Sure, you're going to have RP soon on Misery, but you know it's still on Rubik too, so that's not necessarily that big of an advantage.
Yeah.
And as a result, they have to concede the tower, and this will also be Roche. The question is, can they get something of their own top?
We'll see. A lot of damage coming into the tier 2. Still a glyph available for LFY. They'll pop it now. Some TPs coming in. Nice scan from the Radiant. They see the Slardar at least. And that'll be enough to scare them back.
Actually, unfortunately for them, that scan was a hit. I think if that's a miss, they might get the tower. They got scared of a full rotation here, but it's only a lone Slardar while they're killing Roche, so...
Unfortunate for DC. They get the short end of the stick on that one. Now Super completes his Hurricane Pike. Big item pickup there. And, of course, the Aegis going the way of the Ursa, who is very close to an Aghanim Scepter. Finishing off this Ancients, it'll be about 600 gold away.
This is the item against PA for Sniper. PA's only way of really getting in on the Sniper is to commit Blink Strike. So the moment she jumps on you, you can pike away and buy yourself 5 seconds, and that could easily be enough to get the assistance of your team. You just need some sort of lockdown and space. Sniper is all about spacing, because he obviously has a big init range advantage. So as long as he can play on that type of fight, he will be favored in most matchups. Even against someone like PA, where you're going to miss a lot of hits, you still have your spells, which are really good. PA doesn't like being stuck in shrapnel or getting assassinated. You don't have health pool for that.
Yeah.
So just needs to not get one-shot KO'd basically by a jump from her or Mag.
And that 2k net worth lead we saw for DC is now going by the wayside. LFY starting to take control as they group up once again, all 5 in the top lane, looking to put this Aegis to good use. Finish off the last remaining tier 1 tower for DC. It looks like DC won't even bother to defend this. Already at half HP, they'll have a free glyph, but they're going to take the aggressive approach. They'll try to split push themselves. Manta style up on the Juggernaut, Blink Dagger up on the Magnus. They will put some pressure on this tier 2 mid.
And of course, the thing that we probably haven't stated enough is the importance of Empower in this type of game. Like, if the game doesn't... Oh, Rezo will get jumped. He actually wasn't fast enough on the spin. Nice RP, though.
On 2, very nice. They've got the follow-up as Weeha jumps in, brings down the Rubik, brings down the Slardar. Beautifully done. DC get 2 quick picks. They do indeed lose that top tier 1. They get a lot of damage into this tier 2 mid. They still have the Golem, and they could reinitiate Xiao 8. He pops too far forward. Juggernaut getting credit for that one with the Omni Slash. From 2 to 3 as DC strike back and claim this tier 2 tower mid. They might be able to go high. No, they're going to go bottom. Okay, they're going to play it safe. They still have the Golem, so I think DC can keep pressure on.
Yeah, this was a very, very good move from them. I'm wondering if Rezo was actually baiting them there by not spinning that Slardar stun. He wanted them to come in to set up Misery for that RP, and what I was getting at is, if LFY don't accomplish enough, this Empower will naturally just keep DC in the game, because they have 3 heroes that benefit from it, right? Mag himself, the Jugger, and the PA. A little bit of pressure from End will probably force them away. Moonmianer's thinking about it. He's only level 9, man. He's so low level, minute 21 on this Darkseer.
Yeah, very
wants some blood
surprising.
here. He's gonna maybe get his own.
Ooh, backing back. He will live. Yeah, just fine. Being more conservative with the Golem Rock now. Still 2 minutes left on the Aegis, so they've got some time here. Blink Dagger now out on the Juggernaut. I do like this pickup. You know, you see it some games, and this is one where it makes a lot of sense. You know, jump in the back line if you can catch the Sniper. Very effective item on Jug if you can use it properly.
It's a lot more popular now than it used to be.
I feel like it comes in waves. Like there have been windows in the past when it's been a popular pickup, but it doesn't seem to stick around, you know.
It is just an awesome pickup in this game, that's for sure. Like, you definitely, again, it's all about spacing, right? Juggernaut wants to be able to get in on the Sniper or in on the Slardar. That's a matchup that Juggernaut likes a lot, because Slardar has Sprint on and will actually get soloed by Omnislash from 100 to 0 in most stages of the game. So if Rezo can find him, that's a good opening to the fight. Getting rid of a Slardar is very important. It's the primary initiation tool that LFY will try to use to set up their skirmishes and their fights in general. So definitely a fan of this Blink. The question is if he goes for the Diffusal next, because a trend we've seen emerge recently is the Maelstrom build on Jugger, which I think is really, really good. Keeps you farming fast. Omnislash, of course, gives you Chain Lightning procs, especially when the Mjolnir is really, really strong. And And it's a nice all-round pickup against this kind of team too. It also helps you by giving you mixed damage types, so you both hit hard physically and magically when you're jumping. So the world is kind of his right now with Empower. You know, he's just gonna get rich.
Yep, rotation down bottom. Won't find much. Moon just TP's out. He'll be just fine. The rest of DC on the other side of the map. 4 staff now up on Magnus, so 2 mobility tools for Misery. This position for Magnus really has worked out well. He did keep tempo. He farmed decently in the jungle, and surprisingly, he's out farming the Darkseer right now. I mean, we've remarked a couple times that Moon's been, slower than usual in terms of farm and XP this game, but I think that also speaks to, how well the Magnus has been farming. Down bottom, Moon Meander just surges away. Darkseer, if he struggles a little bit in lane or isn't farming that well, he's a hero that relies on jungle. He can clear stacks in that early mid game, and instead Magnus was doing that instead. So, as we remarked, it's just a greedier draft from DC. There's only so much farm to go around.
That is very true. What I would like to see DC do, actually, have they already bought their tomes? They do have 2 tomes on DC side. I think you just buy up those books and give them to Darkseer. Read a book, man. Get clever. Because that will almost give him level 11, actually. I'm surprised they haven't taken advantage of that. Man, Rezo is pushing this to the limit top. He's going to force a rotation from Sniper, and actually he's going to jump on him.
Oh my, he gets him with the Omni Slash. I don't think he finds the kill here, but pushes Super pretty far back. Assassinate will do some damage, times it just about perfectly. He gets half damage on the tower. If Resolution can survive here, this is a great little play. He blinks away, but Yao still in hot pursuit, has sprint on. Juggernaut will make it out. Very nice.
The good old run the obvious path juke. That will often work, because in many situations like this, the pro players will expect some sort of a clever sidestep, but actually just ran straight through the tree line.
All right, works out pretty nicely. That's a lot of damage on the tier 3, pretty much for the cost of just an Omni Slash. I think they'll take that. BKB also now up on the PA. That's a 10-second charge, ready to rock and roll.
Very, very
always
big
scary.
Item.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, no doubt.
Oh, they're gonna lift Moon. Oh, yes, blinked. He actually didn't get Fate Bolted there by DDC. A bit of a mistake. Could have definitely bolted him there in the lift.
Only 1 outer tower remains for the Dire, and it will stay standing as DC backs up and a reset and save it for another day.
DC are definitely in a very good position in this game. I think they've got a good read on what their win condition is and how the earlier stage of the game needed to play out. It obviously didn't go ideally for them. They would have liked to have some team fights, but the ones we've had have definitely been on their terms. That's what you want. If you have a team fight lineup like this, you want to get the jump or get the key initiation that enables all of your spells to come together. And they are pushing LFY. This is the second Aegis from End that has expired. They cannot be happy with that. Like, you, as Dire here, you want to use these Aegises for sure.
Right. I mean, that's kind of Warlock in a nutshell, though. We found with this hero, part of his potency is, and it's not that he makes the laning stage irrelevant, but he certainly makes some of those early kills matter less. If you can find that good Fatal Bonds, Warlock ult combo in that 10 to 20 mark, can be game-changing. It just takes one good fight, one good initiation to break it up, and then you can regain all that momentum. That's pretty much what we saw DC do this game. A couple of missteps there, and now they've got a nice little lead for themselves. 5k net worth, 5k experience. They're finally feeling good. They've also got a trio of Blink Daggers now, so just a lot of range, a lot of tools to jump in that back line. Even though Sniper has the Hurricane Pike, it's a one-and-done kind of deal. It's not enough to keep him safe from the PA jumping on him and then all of the follow-up after that, even now considering the 4-staff on Magnus.
Oh, yeah, I was going to get Misery here.
Yep, he catches him, follow-up from End, and my god, it's a lot of damage. But now the Golem, the Fatal Bond's doing a lot of work here. Beautiful catch from the Juggernaut. Omni Slash finds a double kill on the Rubik and Ursa on the back line. It's a 1 for 3. Well worth it to lose the Magnus there as they blow up. Ogre to boot, 4 down, 3 without buyback. This should be at least 1 lane of barracks here, Sind.
Yeah, I actually think they're going to get 2 lanes. It's just, Empower is really the reason this gold draft looks the way it does. If you look at the CS, and not just the net worth, where it's obviously apparent that Jugger and PA are now leading, but on the CS chart, oh my god, PA almost just blew up super there with good pike usage. Just look at the CS values, right? It's like they have 4 heroes well above 100, Reso even above 200, and on the other side you have Slaughter, doesn't farm very well. Ursa, none of these Dire heroes actually have good wave clear, and they're playing against the lineup that's constantly pushing their waves with Empower, with Ion Shell, farming the jungles. They're just, getting out economied in this game, basically. And that's actually an issue that we didn't highlight earlier. We were talking a lot about DC's ability to just farm, and team fight, but their wave push and wave clear is just way superior. And LFY might regret the way they've itemized because they don't have any way of dealing with this constant push coming out.
Yeah, and again, to harp on the mobility, now a Force Staff out on Warlock, a hero that sometimes you'll see Aghanims come first, even Glimmer Cape can be a popular item, but just realizing how important it is to have positioning tools against Ursa defensively and also offensively to, find the initiations on Sniper. Roche number 3 now underway by LFY, and we'll see the Warlock get initiated on, but Misery jumps in, drops an RP. They'll go 1-for-1 as the Slardar falls, but a big back wall from Moon Meander. Is it going to be enough to turn this fight for DC as they continue to pursue? End goes down, and Super in a world of trouble. Resolution just too damn fast. Will chase him down. Nice Force Staff to the low ground, but there's a Blink Dagger. He finds him. The TP will not be successful, and that's it. LFY call it GG as they fail the third Roche. DC take game number 1.
Yeah, they just... I feel like we've pretty much already talked about what the problems were here for LFY in this game. Yes, I got 3 predictions right.
I got 2. Woo. So I didn't get last player to be killed.
Last player to be killed was Moon. Wait, what?